Welcome to week 4 lecture video with Professor Thomas. I'm basically going to start off just by going through some of the slides for Unit 5. This is the Module 1, Unit 5, Troubleshooting and Support lecture. It's based on Unit 5 from our text. We'll take a look at that as well. We'll go in there and take a look at some of the textbook questions and stuff like that as well. So objectives here, there's mainly two main objectives. It is to describe basic support and troubleshooting procedures and also use websites and tools to obtain support and search for advice and help. And as you know, the internet and things like this will be very beneficial. At this level, it's really about being able to locate sources, be resourceful, that can help and assist rather than you're actually performing the troubleshooting. Okay, the basic checks and things like that you will be able to do, but no major troubleshooting at this point. So we will look at the CompTIA troubleshooting model, and that model is put out by CompTIA. You do want to become familiar with that as well. So let's go through this. So first, here it says what is really support and troubleshooting, right? And think of it as having certain skills. So troubleshooting skills and approach, problem solving and diagnosis, causes, symptoms, and consequences, and appreciate priorities and business needs, right? Here is the CompTIA troubleshooting model. I'm basically going to just let you know right now that you do need to memorize these steps in the proper order. So think of a way that you can actually memorize the proper order. All right, you probably can create like a mnemonic or some kind of memory device based on the first word in the first two words or so in every step. Identify the problem. Research. Establish a theory. Test the theory. Establish a plan of action. Implement the solution. Verify full system functionality. And document findings. Now, I didn't read the whole thing, but if you can get those procedures down, you're going to be better for it. I probably would suggest you create the 8 steps on index cards. Maybe on one side of the index card you can put the step number, and on the other side you can write out the actual step for the troubleshooting model, and then just shuffle them or put them in order and learn them forwards and backwards. Okay, so this is actually pretty important. So we're basically going to go through what does it really mean to identify the problem, right? And this is really the first step. Gathering information, duplicate the problem if possible, right? Question users. Look for the symptoms, determine if anything's changed, approach multiple problems individually. So here's where it says, let's go a little bit deeper into identifying the problem. You can question, duplicate, approach, gather. Understanding the problem. Question the obvious. Divide and conquer. Consider multiple approaches. Test the theory. Escalate the problem. resolving and documenting the problem, right? So this is where in a ticket you want to be thorough. You want to be able to put what happened. Um, so this is where you establish a plan of action, implement a solution, verify full system functionality, and then document the findings. That's the last step. Now, troubleshooting PC issues. Okay. Now, it falls into different categories. There's the startup process. There's the checking the power, the multiple beeps, dark screen, peripherals, devices, and things of this sort. Okay, the basic things you want to make sure is functioning, because usually if you are going to have problems, it is going to be, oftentimes it can be resolved in one of these basic steps, and you don't want to assume that these are all working. Here's where you get steps: manufacturing documentation, you're getting support, online support and driver downloads, Windows help and tips here. As you can see, you can go to browse tips and they can give you a lot of information already. There's also the technical support, where you can contact the technical support, name and contact info, software device. These are the different types of things that you got to have ready. You should know where these types of informations are in case you're asked. Using a search engine, there's something called the advanced search, or that can help you, be more precise in your searching. Review. Okay. So this next step is to review. You describe basic support and troubleshooting procedures. Use websites and tools to obtain support and search for advice and help. Now, there are sometimes scenarios or questions that may pop up, and we can go over some of those questions as they pop up as well. Like, for example, if I were to ask you, you want to find something on a particular website, but the site does not have a search tool, could you use a general search engine? And if so, how? And the answer would be yes, you can. You can use an advanced search form or use the site operator. For example, certification, and then you use the word site, CompTIA.org. So in your search bar, like in Google or an advanced search, you can use an operator, site with a colon, and that will zero your search in on a specific website. Okay. And in Lab 6, you carry out those sorts of things. So this was the end of our slides. Let's look at let's go to one of the labs here. Alright, so I'm going to type in the password. I'm in. Now, because it had that T on the right hand side, I actually probably could have just hit T and it's automatically going to type for me. That's actually pretty beneficial. Alright, so the first thing it wants me to do is open Edge from the taskbar. So I see it here, and I'm going to, so here there's a note that just says, when you buy a computer from an OEM, you may want to change the default search provider. For Edge, the engine must support OpenSearch, and you must have visited Search Engine Home. So the next thing that wants me to do is to open a web page, and one of the most famous web pages right now is google.com. So this time I'm actually going to hit the T, and it does the typing for me. I'm there. Don't switch for now. I'm good. Click on Settings and More, and then click on Settings. So we're going to go here and then go to Settings, and then go to View Advanced Settings. And then what we're going to do is scroll down to Privacy. Well, let's see here. Scroll down to Privacy and Services. Privacy and Services. Yeah. And then click Change Search Engine. Okay, so what they want me to do is change the search engine. If you want to change the search provider, select Google Search, then click Set as Default. Well, Google Search isn't even in one of these. So probably what I could do, which we don't have to do it, but what I probably could do is add it somehow. This one's already chosen, and it is by default. But I could probably try to add on, but maybe they don't want me to. Just fine. We won't do it. Click in the address bar and drag to select existing text. So we can also go back to get back to our search bar here. Okay, another thing we can search for is this. This is a little bit more specific. Here they want you to pick one of these forms and then just read it. All right, how about this one? So one of the questions it says is point to the support menu at the top of the page and select software and drivers. I actually don't see the support menu. Okay, maybe because I didn't really go into that site that I was supposed to. So I was actually supposed to probably go into one of them. Let's see here. Let's go back. It's probably been changed around a bit. Let's see. Select the point to the support menu. Some of you guys probably have already done this, but this was just to give you an idea of how things are done. Obviously, websites are very dynamic. They do change quite a lot. Things are not always going to be the same. Sometimes it's just hard to locate certain things when they're not specific enough, and that's fine. Let me go to this page here. I actually didn't mean to go to that website for real. Going here. Yeah, that's interesting. How they wanted you to note the specific model number when you're posting. And they probably want you to sign up too and create an account because then you can get more access. So I'm going to get through the rest of this here. This is good stuff. And then finally select menu icon. Okay. And then hit in. Yes, in the lab. All right. That was pretty interesting. Um, so you guys will get to that and actually complete it and do it yourself. I have no doubt. There's also, we have lab 18, configuring web settings, and then also this lab here, using Windows Defender. Yeah, script tools. Lab 6 has been done. A lot of you guys have been did this, so I understand that. Lab 20 should be good, using the Windows Defender and Windows Update. So that should be pretty instructive. Let's take a look at the actual textbook of ours. Under Module 1, Unit 5, Troubleshooting, Identifying the Problem. It's on 85 on this book. Let's get there. Yeah. And a lot of this was done when we did the slides as well. So. Let's take a look at the problems, the actual problems. So here it says, answer these questions to test whether what you have learned in this unit. And then they also kind of walk you through the labs as well. So you could actually practice this lab on your own computer if it's set up to do, if you have it set up like what they want you to have here, then you probably could carry out these steps without even having your own lab. Alright, so let's take a look at some of these questions real quick, and then what we'll do is try to answer them. So number one, it says you are advising a colleague about the best practices when troubleshooting. You have identified the following techniques to use to identify a problem. Gather info, duplicate the problem, question users, identify symptoms, and approach multiple problems individually. If you are following the CompTIA's troubleshooting model, what other piece of advice should you give? And the other one would be, the answer would be, as I paused, I was waiting for you to answer, but I wouldn't know if you answered or not. Determine if anything has changed. And this is one of the most useful troubleshooting techniques. Determining if anything has changed. Number two, you have asked a senior manager to authorize your plan of action for resolving a fault in a software application. What name is given to the process you are following? So this is known as escalating the problem. All right, so you might want to escalate a problem to more experienced staff members or seek help with a solution plan that is beyond your authority to put into action. So that's why we have to escalate it. Three, you're setting up a new computer, but it doesn't seem to be working. Should you check anything or contact the manufacturer? One of the answers, there's many answers, but here one of them is it'd be best to double check that you've connected the cables into peripherals correctly, especially the power. Number 4, your computer locks up periodically and feels hot to the touch. Could these things be related? Yes. Many lockup problems are caused by overheating. The first step would be to clean the fan exhaust vents of dust. That can go a long way. You want to invest in some of those compressed air bottles, and oftentimes they can get inside certain crevices that will just simply blow out the dust, even dust that's accumulated, and you know, that's pretty thick as well. Number 5, what crucial piece of information would you need when trying to locate support information about a computer system on the manufacturer's website? This would be the model number or sometimes a service code. Those two things. If you do not have support contract, what is likely to be the best option for obtaining advice about a problem with an application? So the answer here would be a product support or community forum. Okay. 7, you are looking for content on a topic, but your search is returning millions of matches that are not particularly helpful. What 2 methods could you use to get better search results? So here the answer is to use more search keywords, ideally with uncommon words, or search for an exact phrase by enclosing it in quotes. 8, you want to find something on a particular website, but the site does not have a search tool. Could you use a general search engine? And if so, how? And we just talked about this. It is the site operator that you can use. Okay, so yes, you use an advanced search form or use the site operator, which is a site : such and such. Okay, so what we could do to maybe demonstrate this. We're going to have to demonstrate this, but let's see, I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to type in CompTIA, but I'm going to put in a site, youtube.com. So it's going to search CompTIA, but on this site, youtube.com. And here I put it in quotes. That helped it. That helped it as well. All right. So I'm going to actually drop this file into our ebook collection as a point of reference. So now we have 3 ebooks in our collection. And these are going to help you prepare for the IT Fundamentals exam. I'll rename this. Alright guys, so we are going to wrap up the lecture here. I believe we're going to start to meet weekly, live. This particular meeting was not live, but at this point I feel like we should try to meet live until we feel like we have a good handle on it. So plan on meeting next week, Monday at 5 p.m. and I will make an announcement about this. Until next time, let me know if you have any questions. Keep working hard. You guys are doing wonderful. Don't worry about the deadlines. Just don't let it pile up on you. Okay? So keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna finish this up in no time. Take care.